Hi, thanks very much for clicking on the video link. My name is Natalie Armstrong-Motin, and I am having an idle chat with the very mobile Buddy in Phoenix, who tells me that he spends a good majority of his practice time in a car. Hi, Buddy.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I don't have a choice. It's definitely a vertical, not a vertical space out here. It's very horizontal.
That's just Phoenix for you.
Absolutely.
So all right.
So
now,
how can I help you?
Buddy, my friend, ex-professional bowler, I'm going to shuffle up these 120 cards, and they are going to give us the idle chat topics that you and I will be talking about for the next few minutes.
Alrighty.
And cards shuffled. Sir, the first card reads, imagine that you're moving to another country and you can have only a single carry-on. What would you be packing in that carry-on?
I would be packing at least one book. That would probably be my priority. I would pick a book that would give me some kind of an anchoring point for working within that culture. My doctorate is in cross-cultural competency, so I probably have easily 100 books on different cultures from places around the world, and it's just something that I just really love to do. Very curious about other people.
Very nice. I can highly recommend a book about the Netherlands called The Undutchables. Excellent read if you're going to be visiting or moving to Holland.
Oh, that will go on my list.
All right. Next question, sir. Is there anything you can think of that is actually better broken than whole?
Yeah, well, it depends on your perspective, I guess. But one of the things that I find is always better broken is in the eating space is a loaf of bread. A lot of people think of bread as sliced bread. I think of bread as loaves of bread that you take out of the oven. And when you're sharing bread, I like to break off pieces of the bread and dunk it in whatever I'm drinking, sometimes hot tea. And so you can't really dunk a full loaf of bread, right? So yes, the pieces of bread, and when we buy cookies and things like that, we like to buy the broken ends because they're easier to dunk usually. So
Breaking bread. I like that very much. All right, sir. What food do you crave most often?
I really, really, really like shrimp. It's the number one food that I eat. Usually when I go out, I'll have shrimp salad or I'll have some type of a shrimp scampi. A lot of people look at me. I grew up in Texas, so they think, well, you're going to order a steak or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm actually going to have the shrimp salad. I like to just be that way. When I was in the military, I spent a lot of time on the coasts, and I don't like crabs, so I pivoted to shrimp.
Fair enough. Not like there's a wrong answer to that one, but shrimp, good choice. All right. Is there, Buddy, as you're driving, spending so much time in your car, any particular song that you feel absolutely compelled to sing along to?
You know, I'm not much of a sing-along type music guy. I'm a classical music guy, but I really like David Arkenstone's music, and my favorite piece that I hum along to and really enjoy when it comes on is Across the Great Oceans, which is obviously it's just an instrumental, but it's very empowering. It just gives you a sense of how small you are compared to the space around you, and I think that's very empowering. Yeah, I've never been much for vocal music.
That's all right. It's whatever moves you, right?
Absolutely.
Next question. What is the worst thing that you've ever eaten, just to be polite?
I went into a restaurant and I wanted to have a slice of pumpkin pie, and it was in the deep south, and one of the servers, instead of bringing me pumpkin pie, brought me sweet potato pie. And they look very similar, but they don't taste anything alike. And I just absolutely abhor sweet potatoes. I just can't stand them from my youth. So it was like, yeah, I immediately spit it out and just couldn't eat it.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's food trauma. That's not all right.
Yeah.
All right. Buddy, if you were ever to meet a time traveler, do you have any particular question that you'd want to ask them? Let's make up they're from 200 years in the future. What question would you ask a time traveler who comes to us 200 years from the future?
I would want to know what the demographic makeup of the population is. I want to know what humanity did, what changes did we make, where did we end up 200 years from today? Given how divisive the world is right now and how conflicted we are about socializing and in-group and out-group, I want to know, did we actually grow and learn out of that? Did we turn into something better?
Yeah. And if we got better, how did we do it? So we can expedite the
Exactly.
process.
Yeah, that I would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. Yes.
Right. Really good one. Buddy, what do you like most about yourself?
I'm a natural extrovert. I love to interact with people. When my kids were teenagers and we would go into the grocery store and I would break out into a conversation with someone in the checkout line, they would poke at me and say, you are, embarrassing us. And I'm like, you know what? A stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. You need to live your life openly, not necessarily trusting everybody implicitly without reservation, but you really should be open enough to let people come into your space so that you can find out who they are, because otherwise you're never going to understand people. Society won't have you. And so that's probably my strongest point is I have no filter about extroversion.
All right. And Buddy, I'll ask you the same question I ask all of my guests as the very last question. And that is, what do you love most about the work that we do in the resolution industry?
The thing that I get the biggest kick out of is when people take something that they have learned in the process and they embed it into their thinking moving forward. It isn't that we help people resolve conflict, it's that we teach them life skills. I don't do divorce in my mediation, even though I own a mediation company. I refer that to my other mediators because I've been married 48 years. I believe that there's no such thing as a conflict you cannot resolve. I think that, when you run into that impenetrable barrier or you run into that immovable object, you have to work a get around, not just get frustrated, not get angry, not get conflicted. So when I see people grow in the moment, grow through the process, I believe that I've done my job. If someone walks out the door and they just resolved one conflict, but they haven't changed their demeanor and the way they look at the world, I failed. That's how I feel about it.
What a lovely way to look at the work we do. Really, really nice perspective. I like that a lot, Buddy. And if someone is interested in learning more about you and your practice in particular, what's a good way for them to reach out to you?
Well, I do have a website. It's www.bctmediationsplus.com, or they can find me on LinkedIn or Alignable. My wife monitors my Facebook page. I don't go there very often, but and plus I have my published books on Amazon. And those have my contact information in the back of them. So anybody can always get a hold of me. My author page on Amazon also has my information. And I'm a coach and a mediator. That's what I do.
Fantastic. Buddy, thank you so much for having an idle chat with me. This is the first time I've been able to interview an ex-professional bowler in my lifetime.
Well, I spent